So this is the eero Pro 6E. This is our most popular eero product, our networking product in general, actually. So these are the base routers for most of our systems. They're fairly simple, which is part of their brilliance. They don't take too much to run and are fairly easy to troubleshoot whenever anything goes wrong. Besides instruction manual, the main router, and the power supply, you also get a single Ethernet cable. Generally, this will be enough to cover about 2,000 square feet. So most of your larger homes are going to want multiple of the individual devices themselves. So this is an Arachnus access point. So this is basically a Wi-Fi booster throughout your house, but it's hardwired back to your primary network so that you get the full speeds everywhere in the home. It's not a mesh network. This is more of a distributed network, similar to how a lot of businesses and large complexes use. For aesthetics, they just slide right in. Tuck right up.
Hey guys, Steve here with MediaHead. While we're talking about Wi-Fi networks, I wanted to tie you in and kind of talk a little bit about the central brain where everything runs from. The wireless access points that we showed you a little while ago, whether it's eero or Arachnus or any of those kind of meshed or just traditional network pieces and Wi-Fi pieces, those are visible. You can see them. There's this whole other back end here that makes those come together, brings them all into one place and gives you fast speeds. That's the routing components. So we have a couple things in here that you don't really see. It's not as tangible, but it's really important because this is what brings your system together, makes sure those access points are running fast, gives you good streaming services, make sure your Zoom calls are running quickly, kids are gaming, all those things, and that's the router. So this guy here is our Arachnus router. This is a gigabit router. This can be used in residential or commercial environments. And essentially that ties in here to our network switch, and that's what gives power to our access points. The eero router is here. This is the new gateway coming soon. We don't have a date on it just yet, but this is a great product. We're really looking forward to implementing that into our eero networks. And this is again one of those eero Wi-Fi access points, but this is really the brain of the system here, is that eero gateway. So this is really exciting stuff for nerds like us who like to geek out on fast internet speeds and wired connectivity. Our slogan, "Get Wired," that's a lot about it, is get wired to your network, not just running wire. Making sure all your devices are fast, from your Rokus to your Apple TVs to your gaming systems. And ultimately that's what gives you good coverage everywhere in the house. And when we look at why good coverage is an important thing, you have a traditional network modem, like a Spectrum modem or an AT&T router or Frontier, those guys, they'll bring a router into the house, but it's not always sufficient to cover an entire space. They're also not designed for gaming and some of those high usage bandwidth applications. So what ends up happening is you kind of bottleneck through, speeds slow down, devices drop off, and ultimately you don't really have a company you can call quickly to troubleshoot as well. So one of the things that we really like to provide for our clients is a back-end support system. And with systems like Arachnus and eero, we have remote access capabilities, so we can service our clients really well. It's easy for us to run diagnostics on the network. And ultimately, if you have a system outage, we can pinpoint, is it your modem, your provider, or is it a device on the network like eero or Arachnus? Or is it an access point? So we have visibility, and that's one of the things that we love, is to be able to just support the network, make sure it's up and running, make sure it's up to date on firmware, protection is there, all those good things. So when we're talking about networks, this is one of those components that's not flashy. You're not showing it off to your friends. You know, when we're done with a system, I think the last thing our clients do is go walk them into a closet and go, wow, look at my cool router. But really it's a necessary part of the system, and it does make sense to invest in a solid network so that everything else runs smoothly and is a good backbone for your system. So not flashy, but very essential. Thanks for joining us on our network review with MediaHead. We appreciate you tuning in, and there's a lot more fun things to come in the future. Would appreciate any feedback you can give us. Feel free to submit questions. If there's specific topics that you'd like to discuss, we'd love to build videos around that as well. If you're watching us from a computer, feel free to scan our QR code right over here. That'll get you connected with our office. You can submit questions, reviews, and just check us out.